in career and professional development. During this presentation, I'll be sharing information and tools to help you get curious, unlock opportunities, and build confidence in yourself so that you can design a meaningful future. One of those tools is My Majors. It's a 15-minute online assessment that helps you determine your best fit majors and careers. It matches them based on your academic achievement, aptitude, unique interests, and preferences. If you're interested in doing this, use the QR code to access the platform and use your school email to create a profile. It's normal to feel overwhelmed when you're considering your future career path. You may have a lot of questions or even second guess your choices, and that's okay. You can ease those pressures by exploring jobs, internships, and other hands-on opportunities to figure out what you do or don't enjoy. To secure those opportunities, you often need to talk to people and share your resume. That's why you'll have two assignments after our session. You'll create a resume and attend a career conversation. I'll go over details later. Right now, doing these assignments might feel unnecessary and will likely push you out of your comfort zone, but both are really important. Listen to what one of your peers has to say about their value.
Is Caprice. I'm a senior and I'm a sociology major here at UWO, and I'm here to talk to you about why the career fair is really important to attend no matter what grade you're in. I've been attending the career fair since my first year of college, and I'm going to go over three of my favorite things about the career fair. First thing I want to talk about is practicing your pitch with the employers there. For me, that is really vital for me because I'm a sociology major and my major is very broad, and not a lot of employers may understand what sociology is. So, practicing my pitch on employers in a way, it's a challenge, but it's also an award when I hear employers be like, "Oh wow, like I never thought about that," or how this could be vital for my job. So I highly recommend that you practice your pitch before you attend the career fair, just so then you feel more comfortable talking to the employers, and they will also give you feedback on your pitch as well to revamp it. So definitely take that constructive criticism in a very positive way because it will help you. Another thing that I really like about the career fair is the feedback that I get on my resume. I highly recommend that you do bring your resume, even if you're not exactly looking for a job right now. It's still good just to give some of your resume because they'll have it. And also, if they try to like help you revise it in a way, that's also helpful because it'll kind of look um, at like what these specific employers look for on people's resumes. And then a very vital thing uh, that I think every college student should really take seriously, especially with the career fair, is that networking opportunity. In college, networking should be, in my opinion, your number one thing. Obviously, academics go first, but networking is very important. That's what's going to help you to get that job outside of college. So take the career fair, even if you're not looking for a job, just to network. The way that you're presenting yourself, the way that you may ask questions or just communicating to these employers may show that you're very serious about work. Um, and they may be able to help connect you to even other jobs, even if that's not the specific job that you want. So I also recommend um, to make a LinkedIn account right now as well if you haven't already, um, because that's a great way to connect with a lot of these employers and to see like what jobs that they may be offering. So yeah, those are my three things of why I find the career fair to be important, and I hope the career fair goes well for all of you, and I might see you there. So have a great rest of your day.
During Titan Takeoff, you were introduced to designing your life. the concept of using design thinking to build the life you desire. This is a process without an end. When you embrace curiosity, seek input from others, try things, and reflect on your experiences, you can create a life that is meaningful for you. Following this process can help you solve problems. We'll use the four-step cycle during our time together today. Like during Titan Takeoff, we want you to be actively engaged during our time together. To get you thinking and interacting, we're going to start with an activity called 3-Minute Life Snapshot. The objective of this activity is for you to quickly design a creative resume reflecting your skills, interests, and aspirations in a fun and interactive way. Grab a pen and a sheet of paper. You're going to have 2 minutes to create a resume of your life, focusing on creativity rather than perfection. Fill in your resume by answering the following prompts. Think of one big skill that you're really good at. Write that down. Think of one dream job that you have, a role or job you'd really love to try someday. What excites you or makes you alive? Write down one thing that you're passionate about. What's something surprising about you? Write down a fun fact. And then lastly, draw something that represents you. Just doodle. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to do this.
Molly leaving was one thing, but then I thought mom's osteoporosis might keep us stuck on the.
Now that you have your resume, you're going to take time to tell your story. I want you to share it with someone who's near you, or simply say it out loud. Share one interesting detail that you have that you would like others to know. Class. You'd also be listening to your peers. You'd be sharing with each other and learning about each other. If you were in class and listening to your peers, do you think that your resumes would all be the same? Of course not. Each of you is unique and different. You have strengths, interests, and life experiences that make you unique. Telling your story and listening to others can help you learn not only about yourself, but the world around you, which can help you when you grow and think. Doing this activity in person walks you through the 4 steps of the life design cycle: getting curious, trying stuff, talking to people, and telling your story. And just as none of your resumes is the same, life design isn't a standard path that everyone follows. Life design is about creatively exploring what excites you and connecting with others. When you go to the career fair, this simple resume assignment can help give you a lens to introduce yourselves to the employers, which is called a personal pitch. Caprice talked about that in her video. It's a way for you to highlight your skills and information on a resume in a short amount of time. Although the resume you did for this activity is not going to look like the resume you turn in for your assignment or what you would share with a potential employer, it does demonstrate that your document should be unique from others. It should showcase what makes you special. It should differentiate you from others by highlighting your education, your skills, and your qualifications. If your resume aligns with what an employer is looking for, you'll likely get an interview. If it isn't done well, you risk not getting interviewed for opportunities you want, which means it's an important tool to help you get paid for a career you love. Knowing that, we're going to spend some time walking through guidelines on how to create a great resume. As we talked about earlier, your resume should be your own. It should highlight what makes you unique and demonstrate the skills that you have relating to what the employer wants. Knowing that, you should customize your resume and make sure your skills and experience stand out from the competition. There are a lot of resume templates online. Most of the templates are pre-formatted. That means that as you update your resume, you can't update the formatting. We encourage you to start with a blank document and follow one of our resume samples online so that you can add and update it more easily as you move through your career. And we do have QR codes to access resume samples in the Fuel Your Future guide, which can be found in your Canvas course. How you format your resume can influence whether it gets read or what information the reader retains. You always want to keep your audience in mind and make sure your resume is legible. You want to have a well-formatted and organized resume to make it more attractive and help draw attention to the content and enhance the readability. Here are some basic formatting rules. Be consistent throughout your document. If a job title is bold, then you will need to bold all job titles. Same goes for dates. If you spell out a month, all of the months should be spelled out. If you abbreviate a month, make sure all months are abbreviated. Be consistent throughout the document. One page is ideal for a resume early in your career. If you do go over a page, make sure whatever is on the second page is relevant to the position you're applying for. And the important thing is to know the industry that you're applying for and what's acceptable for that industry in terms of length. Your font should be no smaller than a size 10 and should be a simple font, not a crazy font. Use bold and italics to bring the eyes to certain areas, such as position titles or company names. Again, be consistent and don't overuse it as that can be distracting. You can change margins to gain space, but keep your margins no less than a half an inch, and again, be consistent with the margin size for the entire document. When formatting your resume, you want to be as current as possible. Think of it as what have you done for me lately? Then your sections will be in reverse chronological order, with the most recent jobs, clubs, volunteering, or honors listed first. There are also things that you shouldn't put on your resume. Use bullet points instead of paragraphs to highlight your skills and competencies under each of your jobs, which is easier and faster to read. Given that bullet points aren't always complete sentences, and you need to be consistent throughout the document, we recommend not using periods at the end of the bullet points. Single, don't double space your resume. Unlike the writing you do for school, resumes are not in first person, so remove all first person language. Objectives aren't needed if you include a cover letter. A lot of resume templates include an objective, but they aren't necessary most of the time. If you do write an objective, customize it for the specific position that you're applying for. Also, unlike the writing you do in schools, resumes don't use filler words such as the or they. Check for that. References do not need to be on your document and, in fact, should be a separate document. Any of your documents, including a resume, cover letter, or a reference, should have a similar header and should have the same formatting in order to make sure that it's all branded appropriately and consistently. This slide shows best practices for creating the header of your resume. Including your contact information is critical because it ensures that employers can contact you. As I mentioned, for branding, use the same header on your resume, your cover letter, and your reference page. Most recruiters use AI, an applicant tracking system, or what they call ATS, to help them get through their resume volume. If you use color, hyperlinks, or pictures, or any tables, your resume may not get past the AI to be considered. A helpful way to save space on your resume is to put your contact information on one line and separate by dots or by a straight line, like what you see on this slide. The education section of your resume should highlight your educational background in reverse chronological order and should include the name and location of your institution, the degree you earned, your major, minor, or emphasis, and your anticipated graduation date. Employers want to know when you will graduate so they know when you're available for internships and jobs. Write out University of Wisconsin-Oshkosh and include the city and state we are in. There are more than one UWO. Provide your expected graduation dates so employers know when you're available. The degree will be a Bachelor of Science degree, a Bachelor of Arts degree, or a Bachelor's in Business Administration. That's different than your major. If you don't know what your degree is, check Navigate. As a first-year student, if you need to fill white space, you can include details from high school. However, employers want information that is current, so work to get experiences as soon as you can so that any high school experiences are removed. If you attended another university for a semester or year, only include it during your transition and omit it after you have attended the degree granting university for a semester or more. Experience is a primary section to include on your resume. Each listing in this section should include 4 things: your job title, name, or company name, location of the company or organization, and the dates of your experience there. Provide support with bullet points that focus on results, unique experience, and other accomplishments. Include experience you've had that is both paid and unpaid, such as volunteer work, clubs, or school projects. Remember to list them in reverse chronological order as well. In the Canvas class, I mentioned that you'll see a link for the Fuel Your Future guide. Using that guide, look at pages 3 and 4. They will help you assess your career readiness. The National Association of Colleges and Employers, or NACE, works with employers and colleges to identify the skills that employers desire. The 8 skills that are most desired are communication, critical thinking, equity and inclusion, professionalism, leadership, technology, career and self-development, and teamwork. I'd like you to take a minute and read what each of these is. Now I'm going to have you pick 3 of those career readiness competencies we just talked about. Grab a piece of paper and a pencil and think of an experience that you had that helped you develop that skill. It could be a job, a volunteer experience, a class, on or off campus organization, athletics, volunteer work, travel, research, any sort of experience. Write down what you accomplished using that career competency or skill. Oftentimes, college students think that their jobs don't count for getting a professional position. So, for example, if you work in retail, remember that you're developing communication and teamwork skills, which can be used in a professional position. It's really important to be able to identify those skills that you gain from those experiences and be able to tell about them and quantify about them on your resume and in interviews. So, again, pick 3 of those career competencies, think of an experience, and then write down something you accomplished relating to each.
Molly leaving was one thing, but then I
So now you should have a list of 3 things that you've accomplished and 3 skills that are career competencies. In your classes, you also have an opportunity to get curious and try things, which helps you build skills. As you continue at UWO and in your classes, you'll continue to build these skills that are recognized on the NACE career competencies. Make sure that you work with your faculty to identify the skills that are most relevant in your courses and to see how those can help develop your resume going forward. One of the places you can include bullet points is in the optional skills section, which can be titled Skills, Qualifications, Certifications, or Abilities. It's a great place to show that you meet the qualifications listed in the job posting, not specifically covered in other sections of your resume or cover letter. Examples include maybe you speak a foreign language or have specific computer skills you want to highlight or have another specific training or certification. Now, skills sections can be tough to write because it can be difficult to connect the dots or show how your skills are demonstrated. The key in this section is to make sure you're specific and concise. You want to correlate your skills that you're listing with the ones that the employer has posted in the job description. The best skills sections go beyond just stating an ability. You don't want just a list of bulleted points. You want to have something that shows evidence of your using that skill. The example shown on this slide shows that very often in the skills section, you might list good customer service. That really doesn't differentiate or demonstrate your abilities. What you do want to do in the skills section is use a bulleted point. The example, developed exceptional customer service through time spent in retail sales, serving up to 30 customers a day. Anyone can put good customer service on their resume, but by providing the details that are in the developed bullet point, you actually demonstrate your ability to do that and set yourself apart. On page 8 in the Fuel Your Future workbook, you'll find resources and tools to help you improve your resume. That includes QR codes to take you to VMOC, and we'll talk more about that later, sample resumes and cover letters, and power verbs. The purpose of a bullet point is to thoroughly, accurately, and succinctly describe your transferable job tasks, skills, and accomplishments. Similar to that skills section, you don't want it to be a list of job duties. When you write bullet points, you should begin with a strong power verb. Use present tense if it's an experience you're currently doing, and use past tense if you've already completed it. Make sure to give numerical value when possible, showing specific skills that relate to the job you're applying for, and showcasing what you did without simply creating a checklist. You should have 2 to 5 bullets per job, not be redundant in your listing the same skills and accomplishments in multiple sections or positions, but instead focus on the skills you used in each job and be specific in your statements. Tailor your bullet points to your job description. If a skill is mentioned by the employer, find a way to incorporate it into your bullets. It is helpful to add bullet points to your resume when they're fresh in your mind. And remember, with your action words, you don't want to use the same action verbs within that same job. Common sections for first-year students on a resume include education, work experience, and activities. Additional sections to consider adding to your resume are activities, volunteer experiences, affiliations, relevant coursework, honors, global experience, involvement or leadership, and each of those is going to show your involvement outside of school. There isn't a right or wrong header to include. It's up to you. Many companies and organizations are paying more attention to these sections as they look for candidates who have outside interests and a strong community service background. In any additional resume header section, you should include the organization or employer that you are at, the city and state it's in, your role or title, and the dates that you were involved. Similar to the rest of your resume, be consistent with your formatting with bold, italics, etc. There are some experiences that can be put under multiple headers, as this example shows. We have a student who is part of the psychology club. In one example, the student has included the psychology club under her experience. In the other, the student has it under activities. Student organizations sell really well on a resume and can demonstrate a variety of transferable skills, such as leadership, experience working with diverse populations, and the ability to organize events. As you decide which header you want to put it under, such as this example, consider whether it's directly related to the career you want to go into. If it is, it makes sense to put it under the experience section to emphasize the extent of your experience. If it isn't, similar to this example here, it could go under activities. The same is true for relevant courses, global experience, leadership, etc. You will decide which type of header you want to put it under and base it on the relevance that it has to the position that you're applying for. The top third of your resume should be the area that you highlight the most related things for the position that you're applying for. Consider that when you are determining what section headers to use and where you want to highlight those specific experiences you have. Now we want you to put the rules and recommendations into action. In the Canvas course, find the Frank Freshman Bad Resume. Frank's resume has a lot of room for improvement, and we want you to make it better. Go through the best practices that I've shared with you and make changes to the resume to make the document one that Frank can be proud of. In addition to the formatting, make sure to spend time looking at Frank's skills and competencies. Go back to those NACE competencies to see, does Frank highlight those competencies on his resume? Are there some that he's added? Are some missing? And if some are missing, how could he improve the resume to make sure to include them? I'm going to give you 10 minutes to work on this.
worried about how.
So what improvements did you make to Frank's resume? Did you see that he had his picture on the resume and that he had a link and color? Those may not get through an applicant tracking system and should be removed. Take out the color, take out the links, and remove a picture. Did you notice that Frank's name had a font that wasn't standard, which made it hard to read? Use a standard font that's easy to read. Frank had UW Oshkosh instead of University of Wisconsin-Oshkosh. He did include the city and state, but the city is misspelled. He doesn't share his degree. A degree is different than your major. Make sure you include that. Are you a Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Arts, or Bachelor's of Business Administration? He has his high school information, which can be removed. He's not consistent with his formatting. His margins are different. There are bolds in some things and not others, italics in some and not others. His dates are on the page in a non-formatted way. And under his experience, he has task lists. He doesn't develop his bullets to really show strong action verbs, skills, and a demonstration of what he's accomplished. These are all things that you should have noticed. In the Canvas course, there's also an example of a good resume for Frank. Review that as you're trying to decide what to include on yours, and as you're looking at what you noticed on his resume that should be improved. As I mentioned, one of your assignments from our time together today is creating a resume. The due date for this is Friday, February 28th at 11:59 p.m. In order to do this assignment, you'll need to upload a PDF of your version of your resume to VMock and make edits based on the feedback that you receive. Within the Canvas course, there are links that will show you how to log into VMock and give you more detail on how to use it. You need to reach a minimum score of 40 if you're a freshman and 50 if you're a sophomore, but we encourage you to go above that. After you have met that requirement, you need to upload a copy of your resume from VMock to Handshake, and then in your Handshake account, make that resume visible. Again, there are helpful tools for this in the Canvas course. If you have uploaded your resume to VMock and marked your resume visible in Handshake, we'll be able to see that the assignment is complete. You do not need to submit anything else through Canvas. To get the feedback you need to make your resume better, you're going to use VMock, which is an AI platform. It's great because VMock is available 24/7, and it's simple to create your account. In order to do so, make sure that you follow these very specific instructions. UW Oshkosh has its own VMock account, and if you create an account outside of that, it's going to take a lot to get it fixed. So make sure that you go to the UW Oshkosh account and follow these directions. Use your university credentials to sign in. VMock will score your resume in 3 categories: impact, presentation, and competencies. The impact says, are you making the impact that you want to? Presentation relates to your formatting, and competencies relate to those NACE competencies that we talked about. And look at, are you demonstrating those competencies that you need to? Everything is rated similar to a stoplight: red, yellow, and green. If you are in the red zone, you need to make improvements. And as you can see, there is a tab that says View Detailed Feedback. That detailed feedback will walk you through the things that you need to do to improve your resume. When you get to the yellow zone, you're getting closer, and then green means go. Again, freshmen need to score a 40 or above, and sophomores a 50. So follow this to help you as you improve your resume. We also encourage you, after you're in the green zone, to share your resume with coaches or peers for further review. The other assignment that you need to complete is attending at least one of the spring career conversations you see here. Feel free to take a picture of this for dates, times, and location reminders. We encourage you to not wait until the last event to attend. We also encourage you to attend the first internship and career fair, which is already Monday, February 17th. This is preferred because it is the largest event and has the most diverse group of employers. It helps you meet a lot of different areas and can help you develop relationships. Depending on your interests, consider attending multiple events to network and learn about companies and careers that interest you. If you're interested in healthcare, consider the healthcare fair. Education, look at the education fair. At the fairs, you'll introduce yourself and tell your story. Your story will include why you came to UWO, what your interests are, your goals, and what you've achieved. Think back to the activity we did at the beginning of our session today, where you had to create your resume and share the information with someone. That will help you as you tell your story to employers and introduce yourself. We also have videos and resources to help you prepare your personal pitch in the Canvas course. This video shares the values of networking and resumes from an employer lens.
Hello, UW Oshkosh Titans. This is Juan from Fastenal. I'm a regional recruiter there, and I've been asked by the Career Professional Development team to share a couple insights on resumes and networking. Resumes are a great tool to start to tell your story to a recruiter or a hiring manager. Make sure that you have common formatting. If you're using periods, make sure you have periods at the end of all your sentences. If not, the other way around. Make sure that there aren't any pictures on it, and you start to tell us the story of how you've impacted positions and maybe groups that you've been involved in the past. I really like to see something that's concise. It's going to tell me the story of how you connected to those groups you've been connected to in the past, whether it's a job, a team, an organization, any of those things. So really make sure you start to tell that story. Networking, please do all you can to network while you're in school. You have a lot of opportunities to do that. One example, I just today received an email from a fellow recruiter from a different company. So that's one misperception that I'd really like you to think about, is that as much as the recruiters are competing for talent, if we want to bring on great talent to our companies, we also work, connecting with recruiters, connecting with professionals, and growing your network that way. And use the Career and Professional Development Center as much as possible. They're here to help you push on and hopefully successfully start your career after college. Thank you. Have a great day.
The next video gives you a look at what it's like at the career fair.
At UW Oshkosh, we help you combine your academics, interests, and experiences to find a career that will meet your goals. It's taking action, gaining real opportunities, and connecting with people who want to help you succeed. It's not just envisioning it, it's working towards it, because your career starts here.
The career fair is how I landed my internship with Oshkosh Defense.
I was struggling with whether or not to finish school, but they helped me succeed, set me up with financial aid, as well as 2 jobs on campus. They gave me tips on how to communicate with other business professionals.
From my practice with mock interviews at the Career Center, I have built my confidence when preparing for job interviews.
They helped me build my resume, which got me an internship with Secure Insurance.
The communication social that they had allowed me to network with real professionals in the area.
They're helping me find a graduate school to further my education and secure an athletic director licensure to set me up for my future career goals.
Start your career at UW Oshkosh.
We're going to finish our time together by having you reflect on what you've learned and how you'll use it to go forward. Take a couple of minutes to complete the statement you see on this slide. As a result of today's workshop, and complete that with 6 words or less. Share that with someone. By saying something aloud, you're more likely to follow up on it. Finally, go ahead and use this QR code for your attendance. If you have any problems or questions, please reach out and make sure to use the additional support in the Canvas course. Thanks for your time and have a good day.